So there's a form called the 593, and it's provided by the escrow and title company, and they want to know. It's basically finding out how much you're going to pay in taxes, right?
Right, and that's because some of that, if you've owned your home less than a year, you got to pay taxes to the state of California, and that you might get back, and you might not get back, right?
Well, and so this is always a surprise for people, right? Or it has been in the past, right? So
it's always a surprise when you have to pay taxes you didn't expect from.
Well, and it's kind of a confusing form, right? So when they show up and sorry,
That's all right.
and you're meeting with the notary to sign it, the notary's not necessarily going to know too much about these forms. A lot of times it's like they say, hey, I'm like DoorDash. They give me this order and I bring it to you and I look for the signature pages, right?
All the notary is doing and supposed to do is just notarize your signature.
Yeah.
But sometimes when they come out with the loan documents, they also explain some of them by reading the title of the top of the page. That's as far as their information can go.
And that's why I always make sure, unless something comes up, that I'm with my buyers and my sellers at the time of signing, right? Because there's always going to be questions. But this 593 form is the one that's going to cause the most grief, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I try and get this from escrow and title as soon as I can. And I give it to my sellers. And that way they have this form and they can talk to their accountant.
Yeah, they need to.
And that's the first thing I say. Talk to your accountant and have them help you fill this out and have it ready. So we just simply hand it to them, because you check the wrong box and escrow and title is required to keep a percentage, and it's going to be there for 15 months, So super important.
I just had one that's happened on a transaction where the lady had the last house she sold. It was 2 of the last 5 years. The new house she owned it longer. She owned it for 3 years, but because of the 2 year that they used on the house prior, they only technically had it for a year, and had to pay capital gains on $130,000, her capital gains and all this other stuff. So she was like, "What?" Yeah, almost killed the deal.
Well, and so I had one recently just closed, and it was a investment property that they sold, and they had a good accountant. He was able to write off a majority of the gains with depreciation, because they had the property for like 12 years. So they'll probably pay capital gains on like $30,000.
Or they could have did a 1031 exchange, or they just want to keep the money.
Oh yeah, they're just they're offloading their rentals. So
Delaware statutory trust, another way to put money into it and build equity without having tenants.
Yeah.
Don't take it from me. Go check it out. I don't own it. I don't sell it. I just know about it.